Howdy guys, so it's Wednesday. There's nothing really going on around College Station right now. Just kidding, there's a football game this weekend. There's a football game most weekends, but it's kind of a big deal football game where they're replaying Alabama. So it's a very interesting weekend in College Station, also in my family. I feel like I'm not dressed right for this, so hang on. Yeah, so what I was saying about this not being a big deal, they've been selling shirts since April. Yeah, so in preparation for this big game, I thought I'd tell you guys some of the A&M traditions, some of my favorites. There's a lot of them, that's like the entire school is traditions, but a couple of my favorites. So first up, I'm gonna go with probably my personal favorite tradition, which is Reveille. She's a collie, and she's the mascot of Texas A&M. I mean, we're the Aggies, but then like she's our mascot. She's the first lady of Aggie Land. She's a part of the Corps of Cadets, which is another thing that we have on campus. So she's the highest ranking member of the Corps of Cadets, and she has a sophomore handler every year. And if she falls asleep on that and her handler's bed or another cadet's bed, they have to sleep on the floor. They can't kick her out because she outranks them. There's this thing that freshmen have to do to upperclassmen, which is called whipping out, which is basically just them introducing themselves and learning the names of all the upperclassmen. And they're supposed to whip out to Miss Rev, and her handler answers for her. And there's this tradition that kind of happens, kind of doesn't. It's said if because she goes to class with her handler, and if she barks during class, the professor is supposed to dismiss class, because if he can't keep the attention of a dog, how can he keep attention of the students? But from what I've heard, some teachers would do that, some other ones will be like, oh, well, you can leave, but I'm going to teach you this really important concept right now. So then there's also the Aggie Ring, which I obviously don't have yet because it's something that you get once you have 90 hours at Texas A&M, and it's they say it's the most outward symbol that you're an Aggie, because people wear these forever. I've had my grandparents wearing shirts, Texas A&M shirts, like when they came up for graduation, and at the hotel someone came up to my grandpa and asked if he was an Aggie, and she was showing him her ring from, I don't know, she wasn't like a new graduate, and so there's some various parts and symbols on the ring, and one of the big deals is right before you graduate, you turn your ring as part of the ring dance, I think. You turn your ring around so that your graduating class year is facing outward, so it symbolizes that you're ready to go out and face the world because you're graduating. Okay, so then there's also this thing called the 12th man, which in a football game a while ago, back when the football teams didn't have first string, second string, third string, and like backups after that, when they just had a couple dozen players, A&M was playing a football game, and the players just kept getting injured, and they were down. They didn't have any players in reserve, so the coach called on this kid that was sitting in the stands who had been a walk-on but left to focus on other things. His name was King Gill, to suit up and just stand on the sidelines, so in case someone else got hurt, he could go in. Ended up, never had to go in. I think they won the game, but he stood there nonetheless ready to go. So then the next football game, everyone stood, so now at football games, everyone stands all the time. The entire game you're supposed to stand, and you stand the whole 60 minutes, or more than 60 minutes because it's a football game. And it's the 12th man because there's 11 players on the field, and so you're always standing there ready to go if needed. Granted, that never really happens anymore where they're out of football players, but it's just a symbol that we're here for each other, that it's the whole Aggie family thing that you hear a lot about, and that we're ready to support each other when we need it. Football related, there's Midnight Yell, which is Friday night at midnight. Everyone piles into Kyle Field on the student side, and we practice our yells. We don't have cheers, we don't have cheerleaders, we do yells. So then there's yell leaders who lead in the yells, and some people say that more people vote in yell leader elections every year than will vote in presidential elections when those come around. Then there's also Howdy Gig Em, which are two of our phrases of choice. So Howdy is the official welcome of Texas A&M University. It's what sets us apart from all other universities. It's also used to get attention if like there's a meeting or something and everyone kind of dissolves into their own side conversations, whoever's leading the meeting will just give a big old howdy, and everyone stops, says howdy back, and it puts the meeting back on track. It's actually kind of clever. Then there's also Gig Em, which is like a good, I don't really know, it's just a phrase all its own. Back a while ago, old army days, which is kind of generically a while ago, the A&M was playing TCU, which they're the Horned Frogs as their mascot, and to kill a frog you have a frog gig, and you gig the frogs and you hold it like this. So I believe it was a yell leader went around campus the week before telling everyone to gig 'em Aggies, because you gig the frogs, and that just became a thing. So those are a lot of the major traditions. There's a lot more specific ones. There's other events. I sound like an orientation leader or a fish camp counselor. I am sorry, but they're cool. They're worth it. They make it a really cool university. So there's a lot going on around campus to get ready for the Alabama game this weekend. College football game day is going to be here and broadcasting live from here on Saturday morning. So I have to haul myself out of bed kind of early period to go over. I'm not going to try to get like front row like my roommate is, but I'm going to try to at least see some of it and like say, oh, I was there. So they rolled into town late last night, early this morning. They have their whole big giant RV with college football game day across the side, and then they got 3 full-size tractor trailers and 1 like half-size, and they the whole stage, everything that they used just kind of appeared out of the ground midway through the day. So they're doing broadcasts throughout tomorrow and Friday, and then the big one on Saturday. From that stage, you can, and then the big game is on Saturday, starts at 2:30, 3:30 your time. So we will see. So yep, it's a big week. So hope you all are having fun too. I know you guys don't have quite as much fun as I do with like my big deal football game stuff, but I hope you guys are having fun with whatever you're doing. And you should watch the game if you can, and you won't be able to see me because I'll be way up on the 3rd deck. But I am there. So I'll see you all next week. Thanks and gig 'em.